What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here. This is your host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/StoriesAboutKevin.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.
This story is called, Kevins Come in All Sizes. Back when I was in grade school, one of my classmates was a Kevin. Now, you might say that that would be normal for someone in that age. Not to be very smart, but what he did clearly shows that he had no comprehension of basic human behavior. He did a lot of small, stupid things, but there was one incident that solidified him as a Kevin in my book. But I think, to get a better understanding of the level of Kevin we're dealing with, I should tell you of some minor incidents first. Kevin once ripped the sink off the wall in the school's bathroom. The bathroom was closed for close to 5 months. When they finally opened back up again, they had forgotten to install the doorknob, so we couldn't even enter it for another 3. Not Kevin's fault. Probably. Kevin once got stuck in a tree during first period. He couldn't get down again, so the janitor had to get the ladder. He then went to class for the 10 minutes that were remaining. He didn't come back for second period because he had gotten stuck up in the same tree again. Apparently, it was because it wasn't that high. I bet I could get down this time. Kevin once got a perfect 0 on a standardized test. I don't know if he knew what he was doing or not. That was impressive. He once hit another kid with a pair of bongos. During PE, Kevin once refused to do push-ups, so the teacher busted out the good old Geneva Convention's breaking collective punishment. For every time Kevin refused to do push-ups, everyone else had to do them. I don't know if Kevin was just bad at body language, or towards the end, bad at verbal language, but we had to do something like 70 push-ups total, while Kevin got off without breaking a sweat. People were not very fond of him for the days after. Kevin and his friends once decided that the best idea would be to play basketball inside of the classroom with a pair of scissors. Don't ask me how, but the Kevin gang managed to completely wreck the classroom. And the scissor ball match only ended when one of the burlier Kevins managed to lodge the scissors so deep within the drywall they couldn't get it back out. Kevin once tripped the fire alarm 5 times in the span of 2 hours. During camp, the Kevins decided that it would be a genius idea to have a water balloon fight in their room. All their stuff got wet. The next day, I saw them gearing up for round 2 before the teachers eventually confiscated the rubber gloves they had been filling with the water. Kevin didn't know the alphabet, and he didn't know what sound the letter P made. Kevin prided himself with being the fastest at math. He was not good at it, he could barely multiply, but damn was he fast. He was so proud when he turned in that paper and got back a big fat 0. He didn't care as long as he turned in that paper, filled with answers that weren't even remotely close, the fastest. All of this might sound like brain farts ranging on a scale from minor to major, but nothing beats the sheer stupidity this Kevin once managed to perform. Now sit back and behold. Sheer stupidity. During English class, we had to do a book report. We could choose any book we wanted as long as it was more than 150 pages long. Kevin, may God have mercy on his stupid ass, didn't know what to write about, so he went about the classroom looking over the shoulders of every student for inspiration. Finally, he came to a halt and his eyes fell upon my report. I had decided to write about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, seeing as I had just finished it the day prior. Kevin's jaw dropped to the floor. "You can't write about that!" he screamed. "That's a movie, not a book!" I turned to him and explained. "Many movies are based on books. I'm doing the report on the book, not the movie." I gestured to the book that laid upon the table in front of me. Kevin, now more confused than ever, shouted, "No, you're not! There's no way you could have read that book that quickly! If you can make a book report on a movie, so can I!" I think you can see where this is going. The day had finally come. Students lining up, single file, to turn in their book reports. I turned in my book report, my eyes searching for Kevin's. I wanted to see how it turned out. I found it quickly, and I couldn't help but laugh and be frustrated at Kevin's stupidity. You see, this man, whose IQ was clearly lower than his number of chromosomes, this deflated balloon of a child who had stored away knowledge about sports instead of basic logic, This bundle of sheer stupidity had turned in a report on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and he hadn't even written a report. All he had turned in was a badly traced picture of the DVD cover. It seemed like he had tried coloring the drawing in with crayons, but stopped when he realized that Spider-Man's eyes are indeed not red, but white. This might not sound that bad, but when you consider that he'd had those 2 weeks to think this through, and that he then decided that this would be the best course of action, infuriates me. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry if I've made any spelling mistakes, English is my second language. You know what, given Spider-Man 2's status as one of the greatest films of all time, no contest. Oh, side note, believe me, I am beyond ecstatic about the prospect of Sam Raimi directing another Marvel movie, because then there's the possibility of the multiverse thing happening with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back with Tom Holland, and it's going to be this huge interdimensional Spider-Man movie, and it's going to be so badass, but I'll try to keep my hopes down. But anyways, I think that you should pass him if he decided to choose Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, because, like I said, amazing movie. But yeah, that Kevin's dumb as a freaking doorknob. I seriously feel really bad for calling these people dumb and all that stuff, because honestly, there might be some underlying cause to this unreasonable amount of stupidity going on here. I try to give these stories the benefit of the doubt, but some things you just can't ignore. This story's called World of Kevina, a new saga begins. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in for a ride. What you are about to read is my everyday life pulled together into a few situations. Note that this is a daily occurrence. The lack of intelligence in the stories below happens every day, multiple times a day. These stories feature me and my significant other. Now, I love my SO to death. I'd do anything for her and vice versa. But you know those videos of dogs or cats sticking their heads into plastic bags and then being confused as to why their world is gone now? They're cute and all, but you can't help but think, that's stupid as hell. Why would it do that? Of course, sometimes mistakes can be made. Trial and error is a working concept, but the integral part for that to work is the part where one learns from their mistakes. My significant other doesn't get that part. Starting off mildly, this story takes place at a train station. Me and significant other are waiting for the train, with a few minutes remaining, and suddenly she says she needs to pee. Nothing out of the ordinary. Many times we have gone out, and 5 minutes after us leaving the house, has she claimed that she needs to go. This time, though, there's nowhere to go. So I tell her to hold it until we're at our arrival destination and we'll find a bathroom there. Then comes the great question. My significant other asks, "How come you never have to go to the bathroom when we're out?" Now, if you imagine this playing out in my head like a game show, I had a few options. I could have claimed that I always go to the bathroom beforehand, could have said that I've got a big bladder, could have said that I avoid drinking a lot of water. Instead, as my humorous brain activated, I decided to go with, well, you've got a bladder inside your stomach being pushed from all sides. Guys store pee in their balls. Readers of this post, words cannot explain the expression on her face. It's as if a light bulb as bright as the sun itself lit itself above her head. "That makes so much sense," she said with huge bewilderment. She began explaining different scenarios in which that made sense. "That's like having two bladders without any pressure on them." I was laughing so hard, my upper body was flailing back and forth. For about 5 minutes, I pondered whether I should tell her the truth, but I figured that it's better for me to get flack for making her believe that, rather than her at some point admitting that she, as a 20-year-old, honestly believed that guys store pee in their balls. Of course, the above might not be as telling as it should. It might have been my ironic, hard to discern whether I'm serious side that was talking, so I chalked it off as me being a good salesman. Another night, a few days after the pee in balls incident, we're laying in bed watching funny clips. In this particular clip, you can see the couple move a lawn chair, and they are scared of something, a frog apparently, and they run inside together with their pet. As soon as they disappear, you see the little dog run. Significant other says, "That's not a frog, that's a chicken." What? What's not a frog and where's the damn chicken? We paused the video and played it back, and as I was still confused, I asked, "What do you mean?"
Well, it's obviously a chicken. Frogs aren't that big or hairy.
Significant other says as she points to the dog running off the screen. Cue the repeat of laughter from the first story, and through my fits of laughter, I managed to tell her that wasn't neither a frog nor a chicken.
Cat!
She said. Now, we were watching this on a phone screen, so of course, that might have been the reason as to why she mistook the frog for a chicken and then a cat. Few months go by with smaller incidents that aren't worth mentioning. To set up this next story, a few days before this next brilliant moment, I ordered a package that I was eagerly waiting for. My significant other knew about this beforehand, and it's not uncommon for us to tell the other to pick up packages for the other in case one of us is at work. So this particular day, Tuesday, I go to work, come back home from work, and get sad because I didn't get the package. Oh well, significant other is on comms with her friend, so she mutes that and talks to me for a bit, asking me how my day went, etc. At one point in the conversation, it goes like this. "Hey, are you off tomorrow?"
Yeah, why?
I was just wondering in case my package shows up."
What? Aren't you off tomorrow?
"Why would I be? I've got work to do."
What? Since when are you working on Sundays?
"What? It's Wednesday tomorrow."
What? I thought today was Saturday.
"So where did you think I was all day?"
I don't know.
Redditors, I'm sure you have all forgotten what day it is. Maybe not to this scale, maybe worse. So far, if you're not convinced by these stories, this next and last one won't fail you. 2 days after the Saturday incident, I was at work when I received a good morning text from significant other. Nothing unusual, we go about having the same conversation as every other day. Cue 20 minutes later, after a brief pause from all the messages, I get another message from significant other, saying,
I'm so done with myself.
Uh-oh, what happened this time? I asked, knowing that this can't be good.
I went to the bathroom and have been trying to flush the toilet for the past minute or so, but I couldn't stop wondering why the light kept turning on and off.
At this point, my last remaining brain cells have started a pit fight. If this was one of my mates, I would be 100% sure they were screwing with me. But this was my Kevina. I knew that she 100% stood in the bathroom, flicking the light switch, trying to flush the toilet for a solid minute or so before realizing her mistake. My sanity is gone. My brain cells have migrated, and I'm starting to fear her Kevinity is going to spread to me. Help. Oh boy, at least he's getting good parenting training. At some point, you should be concerned. I believe that point has been reached a long time ago, and concern should have been set in, like, a long time ago, and you need, I don't know, some sort of diagnosis? What the hell is wrong with her? What? This story's called My Childhood Best Friend Was a Kevina. Been lurking on this sub for a while, and it has brought back memories of my childhood best friend. We were friends from kindergarten up until middle school, when we had a falling out. She lived down the street from me. Some examples of the stuff she did. In 3rd grade, she had an interesting but also very scientifically incorrect theory. She and one of her 2 older siblings have blonde hair. Her mom has red hair, and her dad is blonde but was bald by then. She told me that the reason that she was blonde was because her mom dyed her hair blonde one time in high school. She said that it must have
Mutated her hair's DNA.
What? I told her that it was probably because her dad was blonde, and she said that was impossible because she was a girl and her dad was a boy and her dad was bald. Kevina supported this theory by explaining that both she and her sister were blonde, but her brother had red hair, which just further confused me. I asked her mom if this was true because as kids we think adults are all-knowing, or at least I did, and believe whatever they say. Her mom explained that's not how it works, but Kevina refused to believe her and told her,
You just don't understand because you aren't in science class.
In first grade, we found a wrapped tampon in our mom's bathroom. I thought it was a coin roll because I had gotten a piggy bank with a coin roll the week before and they looked very similar. This is at least an understandable assumption, but Kevina somehow came to the conclusion that it was clearly a magical Smarties, American kind, candy roll. We didn't want to open it because her mom might have gotten mad. We asked her mom and she told us that we can know when we are older, so this clearly confirmed Kevina's suspicion. The next day at school, she told everyone in the grade that she had a magical Smarties candy. She brought it into the school to prove it. Long story short, Kevina's mom never again left a tampon out in the open. Third and final story I am able to remember. She likes to play a game called House. In House, we would just pretend to be different family members. She was the mom, I was the oldest child, and we would force my toddler brother to either be the youngest child or the dad, whatever we were in the mood for. One time we were playing House and my brother was acting as the dad. It was bedtime in the game, and since in the game she was married to my brother, she decided that their love needed to be authentic. Her parents told her that in order to have kids, a mom and dad have to do a special kiss that only adults can do, so she told my little bro that they had to kiss. He said no because he didn't want to really have a kid, but she said, "Wasn't how it worked," because her parents told her that only adults could have kids. Either way, my brother freaked out and ran away. She screamed that they were divorcing and then told my parents that my brother refused to kiss her and that they need to talk some sense into him. When my parents did nothing, she plotted her revenge. She ran in a circle around my house at least 5 times in 90-degree weather, went back inside, and shoved his favorite stuffed animal under her armpit to make it smell like BO. This was actually pretty smart revenge for a first grader, so I'll give her that. R/kids are stupid may have been a better sub for this since it happened when we were young, but I've heard she still does strange stuff like this. I always felt kind of bad for her because she had undiagnosed learning disabilities, ADHD and dyslexia I think, but her mom wouldn't take her to a doctor, get her a tutor, or have her put in extra classes because she wanted to keep up appearances. I hope she's doing better now, but just wanted to share the story. Aw, that's actually really sad. Is that really common? Do parents not put their kids in the classes that they need to be in because they want to keep up appearances? That seems like something people would do, honestly. Special needs classes really, it sucks that they have a stigma like that. It's just people needing different forms of learning. Traditional learning styles don't particularly work with them, so they need, more individualized approaches, which is perfectly fine. And it's ironic because they call it special needs to sort of not make it sound as bad as it could be seen as. But it's not really working, is it?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.